Hey again, it's Rachel with DV Allies. So today what I want to talk about is when we're in relationship with women who are coming out of domestic abuse and we're acting as support allies, friends to them, it is so important that we trust their own experiences and their own perceptions of their experiences rather than trying to prescribe our own ideas or, heaven forbid, minimize and say, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. Because I can tell you with so many of the women I've talked to, they're just like, I mean, it wasn't really that bad. Should I really have left or whatever? And that's hard to hear. I mean, do people leave for frivolous reasons? Sometimes, sure. But when you've got someone who's so beaten down and very clearly just psychologically and emotionally and physically and mentally damaged, it's not up to you to say, oh, it wasn't really that bad. The thing I always say is it may not have been a single stab wound that did her in. It may have been death by 1,000 paper cuts. And what I mean by that is sometimes, sure, of course, we hear those scenarios that are just, oh my goodness, that's horrific. I can't believe you lived through that. That's probably equivalent of a stab wound. I meant figuratively, but sometimes literally. But then there are things where you hear just little bits and pieces of he never helped take care of the kids, or he wouldn't allow me to get a job, or he wouldn't allow me to go back to school, or he didn't like when I cooked dinner he didn't like, so he threw it in the garbage, or he gave me an allowance each week and kept passwords on the bank accounts, or things like that. You might be tempted to say, really? You left your husband because he threw some food in the garbage? Come on, grow up. Don't do that. If you want to think of yourself as a supportive friend or ally, don't do that. Again, that might be one of the 1,000 paper cuts where she's bleeding out and she just can't take it anymore, because it's not just that. It's 100 little things every single day. And she may not be able to explain all of them to you, or maybe she doesn't remember some of the stuff. But don't ever minimize what she's gone through. And don't ever allow her to minimize what she's gone through either. That's such a big thing with these women. A lot of people are like, well, I read about this thing in the news and this happened to this woman and it was so horrible. And I don't know, my situation wasn't that bad. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't really that bad. Maybe I'm making stuff up. And I always tell women, trust yourself. You were there. I wasn't there. Nobody else was there. Nobody else knows what you experienced. If you believed that it was bad enough to leave, it was bad enough to leave, and you can trust yourself. And you are smart enough to know these things. And your intuition will tell you when things are not right. So I urge the women that I'm supporting to trust themselves, and I will urge you to trust her, because you haven't been in her home. You haven't been in her relationship. She's the only one who has. So, as always, subscribe if you would, and let me know if there are other things we should be discussing here. Thanks so much. Have a great day.